This might be a surprise for some of the younger ones in my audience, but the video game Snake was not invented for cell phones. Yes, I know Snake hasn't come with cell phones for almost 20 years now. The gameplay in Snake wasn't even invented for Tron. The game design dates back to the mid-70s. That makes it one of the very first action games for a computer. Snake predates the Famicom by almost the exact same amount of time that the Famicom predates Wits. To get the obvious question out of the way, no, I don't know why Wits is possessive in the title. It's just a weird thing that they happen to do. Wits was actually an arcade game first, though this is one where I've never seen a cabinet, so I assume it was pretty unpopular. For the Famicom port, there is a human versus AI mode, but it's not very good. The entire reason you get Wits is to play it against other people. And it's one of the few games that supports the 4-player multi-tap. Though if you don't have one, you can still play 3 players using someone on the expansion port. You can also play 2 players against the computer, although I don't know why you'd want to. The goal in Wits, regardless of whether you're playing against the computer or a human, is to outlast your opponents and hopefully force them to crash. You leave a trail behind you as you walk around the arena, and anything that collides with those trails dies, whether it's you or the opponent. Matches in Wits tend to go very quickly. It's not uncommon for a round to wrap up in 10 seconds. The first move you make could be the decisive one. You do have a few special moves that can help you in Wits. Holding down the A button gives you a speed boost, and hitting B will let you jump. You have a limited number of jumps you can use per match though. If you play single player, then you're given your choice of 5 different opponents. And is he flipping me off? Anyways, that jerk is the one who's normal, and the other ones have special abilities. The one in the flight arena doesn't draw lines part of the time. That can work to your advantage as you can pass through those gaps, but it also helps him because he's not always filling in everything. This one splits apart into a bunch of little guys. It makes him nearly impossible to trap. The swimmer has an arena that already has some blocks filled in. And finally there's an ice stage where it takes you a few moments to turn a corner. And speaking of turning, it took me a while to get a feel for how Wits moves. The key is that you're actually a little bit back from where your graphic is on the screen. So I was always turning early due to responding to where the sprite appeared. You can get used to it, although with different sprites for every stage, you have to relearn that every time. Each of your opponents has 5 stages, and there's a 6th opponent that unlocks if you clear all of them. The 4th and 5th stages against these opponents puts you in a vehicle that goes faster. Colliding with something will knock you out of the vehicle though, so you get 2 chances on those stages. You have 3 lives with which to beat Wits, and there are no continues. You have to beat all 30 stages like that. That's why Wits is known for being absurdly difficult. But then, what most people want it for is to play against their friends. The one concession they give to players here is that if you and your opponent die at the same time, then it's your win. One cute thing in Wits is that when you pause the game, your guy takes a break. The typical strategy in this kind of Snake game is to surround your opponent and leave them trapped, and then endure until they run out of space. That doesn't work quite as well here. Since the opponent can jump over bricks, it's possible for them to escape out of traps. For that reason, the only advice I have for a player is to survive. Don't try to be clever, don't try to cut them off, don't try to build traps, just endure. It's really the only hope you have against the AI. Wits isn't well remembered in Japan, but I did find people mentioning that they enjoyed playing it against their friends. Unfortunately, I didn't have anybody to record with, so all I could do was play against the AI, and everyone agrees that that is the least fun way to play Wits. It wasn't a bad idea to try to extend that Snake gameplay, but I feel like it didn't go far enough. If there were some more complicated layouts, or the players and the enemies had access to more powers than just jump or go faster, and if it didn't require that you play amazingly to beat it, then maybe Wits would have something for the solo player. But as it stands, you really need a group to enjoy this one.